Craig, congratulations on the new role. Just tell us, what was it about this challenge that made you want to get back in?
The people, mainly. You know, I know Jeff, Gus, Roddy, Stan. I've found in the past where I've done the best jobs have been places where I've been working with good people. So I thought it was a good opportunity.
Tell us about the challenge that lies ahead for you then, given
Well,
where St Johnstone.
Well, we're at the foot of the table, so that's pretty obvious. Mac was a wee bit unlucky, I felt. You know, I mean, I looked at the games, I watched some of the games, and I felt that St Johnstone were in the games. You know, it's not like they were, other than maybe the St Mirren match, it's not like they were, you know, out of the game early and no chance. So, and I came to watch young Max playing last week. And he wasn't playing. I actually was thinking about going home, but I thought I'll just stay and watch because I'm here. So, and I'm glad I did. You know, it gave me an idea of what is possible here. And I was pleasantly surprised by the quality, the energy of the team. Obviously, you know, there's experience in there. You know, when Jeff called me, it was quite a easy decision. Bearing in mind, as I say, I know Jeff for quite a while, and I respect him. And the fact that the team, there's possibilities there. I think that's important.
You've been working at Brecon, for example. You've been on the radio. You haven't been managing since Hearts since 2019. How much has that time out given you a chance to reflect, and do you come in with a different perspective, or is it a case of going over the stuff that you've done before and trying to do it better?
What I've realised, certainly the latter spell at Hearts, trying to do two jobs at the same time is extremely difficult, and so that's one thing I've learned. The reason that I've brought Andy with me is that he can take some of the load, mainly the sort of day-to-day coaching stuff, and give me a chance to spend what energy I have in the areas that are most important.
Do you feel that now with this team, you need this sort of immediate impact, but then it's the medium to long term of bedding in your ideas?
Yeah, I think firstly, when you look at the league table, we've got our main concern is to try and improve the situation there. You know, and coming into management and sitting here talking about long term, I think those days have long gone. So I'm just looking at the short term at the minute. I can worry about the long term if we can manage to get the ship on the righted and sailing along. So that's what the intention is. That's what we're going to try and do. And speaking about longer term, it's probably not for now, I wouldn't think.
I guess you taken some counsel from friends and family before taking this job, Craig. Were they all for it?
Most of them. Yeah, my missus, she says you're much less stressed than you used to be. I said, I know, but I quite enjoy it. So we'll have another go and see what happens.
Will we bring a new attitude towards this term of management?
I certainly, as you get older, you start to work out that, as I said earlier on, you're saving your energy for the things that are important and things that will have most impact. I've definitely learned that that's something I have to take into consideration. The stresses and the strains are the same as they were 2 or 3 years back when I was at Hearts. So from that point of view, I know what to expect. I mean, I don't know how many games I've managed, but there's quite a lot, So, and I might be a little bit calmer, might be, but we'll see.
Is there money available in January for replenishing the squad?
I've not even gone down that road yet. I just looked at the squad that we have at this moment in time, and can we help to make those players better? as I say, I watched the games, and I think Maka was unfortunate. He nearly got there on a number of occasions, you know, and I think the players are in here that are capable of progressing up the league, and my job and Andy's job will be to try and improve the players, and if we can do that, if we improve 4 or 5 individual players, then the team improves, and that would be our immediate aims.
Craig, the game you mentioned, the one you were watching against Kilmarnock, suggests there's not a lack of quality available here to get the team up the division from the get-go.
I agree with that. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. I hadn't seen St Johnstone in the flesh since pre-season. I'd watched a pre-season match, and they struggled a bit, and I had that picture in my head, you know. So coming up to the game the other day completely changed that. I mean, I thought that St Johnstone played extremely well, and had a number of players who had really good energy. There's experience in there, and there's energy in there, and if we can get the effort out of them, then things will be fine.
You talked about Stephen being close on many occasions. Do you think he did spend a number of games searching for that right blend, that right recipe to get the win? Do you think your experience will help in that regard?
Well, we'll find out, won't we? Yeah, well, I mean, between myself and Andy and Alex is going to help us as well. So, you know, we've got plenty of experience, and yeah, I'd be hopeful that this group of players can improve. That would be my main concern. If we can do that, then things will get better.
A word on Andy as well, because I know he's just down the road from you at Brecon. What are the qualities you see in him that will help St Johnstone?
His understanding of the tactics, extremely good, and the way he had the team at Brecon playing, if we can replicate that, which is our aim, and I do think the players are here to do that, then this thing about improving players, improving the overall team is eminently possible.
What did you miss most about management, Craig?
I just about swore there. Listen, the cut and thrust of it is everything, isn't it? You know, putting yourself into the arena and seeing if you can come out on top. And it's still in here, you know. It's a difficult thing to get rid of.
Has the board set you any targets, anything for
No.
the short term?
No, I think we all understand what we need to do. We don't need any targets.
Craig, do you come back in with a point to prove, maybe to yourself or to anyone else, given you've been out for a while, the way it ended at Hearts, or is it just coming in with that different perspective, enjoying being back involved?
Yeah, I think that in this business, there's very few managers don't get sacked. Very few. And it's part of what happens to you. And I think you need to be resilient. And, you know, having the connection that I have with Hearts obviously made that a difficult time when I left. I've had plenty of time to reflect on that and also what I want to do in the future. I've done a number of other things, little bits here and there that have kept me fairly busy. But I've said, when asked on many occasions, would you go back in? And I said, if the right thing appears, then I would consider it. And that's why I'm sitting here.
Is that your podcast finished now?
I'm going to do one this afternoon. I know I've got some commitments that I've made, not just that, but other stuff as well, that I will honour and shuffle them around to try and fit. But maybe sometime down the line, you never know, might start that again.
Craig, would you say you're a better manager?
We'll find out, won't we? We'll find out shortly. I think that I've learnt quite a lot from my last job in particular, about, I just keep talking about this, having the energy to cope with the demands of the job. And I did think that coming into a role in the Premier League, and trying to do everything again would just be a horrendous mistake. So I feel that, you know, we've got Alex here who knows St Johnstone, knows the club, knows the players. We've got Hinchy here as well, who's similar, and then with Andy and myself, you know, I can feel that we can split whatever duties there are so that everybody's doing what they're good at, and that's the intention.
To what extent do you think the game's moved on, or is it just the same as when you were back in before?
Yeah, it's not. I've obviously been watching an awful lot of football, and there isn't an awful lot changed. You know, I think that maybe Ange coming into Celtic, there was a little change in you know, the way he played and the way the positions that his players took up. And I think everybody, you know, has watched that. I don't know if there's anything new other than that. It's pretty much the same.
And success for you is what?
Well, the first thing is to get St Johnstone off the bottom of the table, and the second thing is to keep them off the bottom of the table.
Can it be better than that? The squad of players you've got here, what do you
think
see in
so.
that squad?
I think so. But that's the priority.
What about this Motherwell game then? Craig, they're not on a great run, so how do you see this one go?
It'll be tough, won't it? I mean, we hadn't been on a great run ourselves up until victory over Kilmarnock. As I said, we were in most games apart from the St Mirren one. So for me, there's hope that we can replicate the performance that we had against Kilmarnock, and I think if we do that, we've got a good chance against Motherwell.
Is Motherwell an example of how kind of difficult management is in terms of Stuart being away up high at one point early in the season and now he's on a downslide?
It isn't an easy job. I think that's something that I think sometimes looking in from the outside, it's not always appreciated just how tough it is to do the job. And you know, there are ups and downs. It's a roller coaster. Sometimes not all of the teams are capable of maintaining that level of consistency to stay in higher league positions. You lose two of your best players and then you've got a problem. So that, for me, sometimes is the reason for this kind of oscillating between 2 points in the table. One of them which is probably acceptable, another one's just below acceptable. So, and a lot of teams have been doing it this season, you know. We have to try and establish some sort of level of consistency.
Craig, if I was writing a biography, there'd be a few chapters that would be Craig Levein versus. Are you looking forward to Craig Levein versus VAR?
Oh, I didn't even think about it. You spoilt that for me. I hadn't even thought about that one. I'm going to try and be on my best behaviour, so we'll see.
Craig, obviously over the years a lot's been said about your style of play, your tactics. What kind of football would you like your St Johnstone team to play?
Well, I've been, you know, working with Andy, as I said, for the last 2 or 3 years. Andy's got his own ideas of how the team play. I mean, the reason I'm bringing Andy with me is we're going to play the same style. I like it. I know. I mean, been talking to him for 3 years about, you know, what he's trying to do and tweaking things here and there, and he's got to a position where he's got a very clear idea how he wants to play the game. I've got a huge amount of respect for him. He's, you know, a young coach making his way in the game, and my job will be to manage. I'll be managing everything, and I'll be managing him doing the coaching, and I want to give him that responsibility.
Obviously it's been a tough time for the club and the team and the supporters. What would your message to the fans be?
We'll try our best. That's it.
For those of us who haven't seen Greek and Craig, what kind of style?
Shame on you. Well, we'll try and play football. A lot of the time it depends on your opponents, and we'll be flexible and try, if we can, to entertain. If we can.
You suggest that Andy's really having a huge role to play.
He's going to be in charge of the coaching. Yeah.
Is there a bit of maybe succession plan as well? Do you see the new
At some point,
follow on?
at some point, I mean, Andy's learnt an awful lot, and I enjoy working with him. You know, it was the same with Robbie at Hearts. You know, I enjoyed working with him. I'll do all this nonsense and leave him to concentrate on the stuff that really matters.
I think I remember you saying that a lot of managers still, or prospective managers, phoned you for advice. Did you, who, if anyone, did you speak to before taking this? People you still speak to?
Well, not this one. I mean, as I said, in my head, when you try and distill why things went wrong at certain clubs and try and work out, it's not always easy because it's often an accumulation of things go wrong. And you know, I look back on my best spells in management has been working for you know, people that I got on really well with, and in structures that were really good. And I mean, I'm not being disrespectful to Hearts, and in particular Anne, because I love Anne to bits, but and I put the Hearts thing down to me, as I said earlier on, trying to spread myself over so many different things. But the people here are good people, and I want to work with them, and that's, for me, getting up in the morning, coming to your work and looking forward to it. You'll do your best work.
Craig, presumably there'll be, because you're only just in, there'll be a transition between Andy and Alex Cullen and yourselves for the game tomorrow night. Well,
I mean, Alex has a plan for training today already, you know, so I think we'll just follow that. And most of the times, the day before the game, there isn't an awful lot of work that the players have to do. Obviously, we need to take care of set pieces and stuff like that, but and I think, I mean, it's like everything else, you try to get the message across as quickly as possible. I don't know how long it will take. There certainly have to be quite a lot of time on the training ground to get to a point where everybody understands the positions that they need to take up at certain times in the match. Alex is going to be part of it. He knows the club. He's been here, I think he's 14 years or something like that. I just made that up, but I mean, something like that. Yeah, so he brings something to the table as well, so, as does Hinchy as well. So, you know, we just had a chat down the stairs, and everybody's focused and excited about getting going.
How was the chat with Amy? Have you phoned her for the podcast?
Not yet, no. Well, I'm going to honour some of these commitments. I've said that to Jeff, so I'll probably do to the end of this series. It only takes an hour or so more time, so, and I don't want to let anybody down.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay.